Hello, good morning, Sachin. Am I audible? Sachin, Indrajit, hello,
Sir.
am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
इंद्रजीत
Yes,
ऐकू
sir.
येत आहे ती डायग्राम झाली का कॉपी करून
हाँ सर.
दिसते आहे ना स्क्रीनवरती स्क्रीन इंद्रजीत
हाँ सर.
हॅलो डायग्राम दिसते आहे ना
हाय सर.
ओके झाली का कॉपी करून
हाँ झाली.
ओके ठीक आहे एक दोन मिनिटं थांबूया विल वेट फॉर 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start because students are still joining.
ओके सर.
What about that assignment,
है
that
सर
C
बाकी.
programming assignment, matrix multiplication? Indrajit, have you tried?
नो सर. आई हैव टू.
Huh? Have you tried that assignment,
नो सर.
matrix
नॉट येट.
multiplication? Huh?
नॉट येट.
You try. If there are any difficulties, you let me know. Huh?
ओके सर.
My voice is clear, no?
यस सर.
Indrajit.
यस सर.
So you try that assignment. Everyone, I have posted the assignment. I have also given the link also, YouTube link. So you can go through the YouTube link first, understand, and then write. Huh? I had a discussion with Neeraj, and Neeraj told me that you are familiar. You already done C++ and you already done matrix multiplication also.
या.
Yeah. So that is the first assignment of the term work.
ओके.
So please, those who are joined late, please copy this faster. This is the NC coordinate system. Usually the longitudinal, this is for the milling machine, the machining center or for the CNC milling machine. The longitudinal axis is called as the x-axis. The vertical axis is z-axis. The transverse axis is y-axis. Right. And this is for the lathe machine. And always remember, or you write down, the axis which is parallel to the spindle. Remember, axis which is parallel to the spindle is called as the z-axis. Axis which is parallel to the spindle is called as the z-axis. So in this case, now milling machine, this is the spindle, vertical milling machine I am talking about. So the spindle is this, isn't it? The axis which is parallel to the spindle is called as the z-axis. In case of lathe, in case of lathe, the axis which is parallel to the spindle. Imagine that this is a spindle, so this is what is your z-axis in case of lathe. So I'll go for the next slide. We'll discuss the motion control modes in CNC controllers. I will request all of you to write down this. It's a point to point because this is important from examination point of view. So first is point to point system. So that is the positioning systems. So what do you mean by point to point system? That suppose if there are four holes to be drilled, then from one hole to another hole, it will move not in a fixed path. The target is from point A to point B, it has to move. So it can take any path. Generally, it takes the shortest path. Means like suppose if you are traveling from Dadar to Bandra, so either you can go Dadar to Bandra by train, or you can go by road. hmm, You can go from west side, you can go from east side. So there are different paths. But finally, what is required that you are starting at Dadar and you are reaching at Bandra. So this is what is nothing but the point to point system. Usually, it is used for drilling and punching operation because in case of drilling and punching operation, the final position is important. This is what is your point to point. That is from this point to this point, or from this point to this point, right? If I am not audible, please tell me. Then second is straight line mode. Straight line mode. Here the path is important. Here the path is important. So this we call it the path dependent, like your thermodynamic system. And earlier point to point that was path independent. In case of point to point, what is the requirement? Initial position and final position, irrespective of whatever path you take. But here in straight line mode, the path is important. This, like you have given this point and you have given this point, so it will go like this, straight line. Similarly from here to here. So this is what is called as the straight line mode. If you want, you can write. Done? So Dev Shah, he is asking, has sir uploaded previous lectures? Hmm. So yes, I have uploaded, and I have also uploaded the assignment number 1, which is based on matrix multiplexing C program. Indrajit, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So have you checked up? Did you receive the PPT?
Yes, sir.
And did you receive the
Yes.
assignment? Yes. So you can tell Devsha because he has text me in the chat box that has sir uploaded the previous
Sir,
lectures. Yes.
where is it
I have.
available, sir?
Sorry,
Where is it available?
in the classroom. It is available in the classroom, Google Classroom.
Sir,
Oh,
sir, in the classroom, it's showing that only assignments have been uploaded, and in new material, the
hello.
thing is
In the assignment as well as one PPT is also uploaded.
okay. Okay,
Just ask Indrajit.
okay. The PDF has.
Hello.
I got the PDF, sir.
Yeah.
But
So that is what.
yeah, but he's asking about the this thing, the lecture that has been recorded.
Hello, I am in lecture. Hello. Bolo.
हाँ sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, so he's asking about the lecture, the recorded lecture that's going on.
Acha, you want a link for the recorded lectures?
Yeah, yeah, the recorded lecture.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, I'll all the two lectures and these, including these, that is third
Yes,
lecture.
yes, sir.
Today itself, I'll put it on the Google Classroom. Is that
Okay,
okay?
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hmm. Meanwhile, you attempt those, that assignment on
Yes,
C
yes,
programming, that is matrix multiplication.
yes, sir.
This is straight line mode where the path is important. Then you have third method, that is three axis contouring, continuous method. So in three axis, all the three axes are moving simultaneously. Here, all the three axes are moving simultaneously. In case of earlier, that is point to point and straight line, only two axes are moving simultaneously. In case of straight line, only two axes. In case of point to point, only one axis. There are no simultaneous motion. In case of point to point, in case of straight line mode, two axes are moving simultaneously. In case of three axes, all the three axes are moving simultaneously. That is what is called as the three axis contouring continuous path. And this is useful for your 3D shapes, mostly in molds and dies. So here X, then Y and Z, all the three axes move simultaneously. What are the this is what is called as the interpolation. So first was point to point interpolation, then second was straight line interpolation, and third was three axis interpolation. Interpolation means moving the axis in definite or with definite velocity, either independently or simultaneously. So the definition is here. Contours. This is again important from examination point of view. Contours. These are the continuous shapes. Numerical control being digital can apply command or can only command the tool to move in line segments. Now here there are two things. Either the tool can be moved, tool can be rotated, as well as tool can be moved in X, Y, and Z. So such type of machines are called as the fixed bed machines. Fixed bed machine. In case of fixed bed machine, the bed is not moving. Only the tool moves. Tool rotates also. Tool moves in X, Y, and Z direction. What machine we have in our college, in our institution, that is not fixed bed, because there the bed moves in X direction, in Y direction, and the tool moves in Z direction, that is in vertical direction. I repeat, always a common question which is asked. The axis which is parallel to the spindle is called as the Z axis, and then perpendicular axis to Z axis are nothing but your X and Y. So interpolation is nothing but moving in a definite way with the prescribed velocity, and the error between the desired surface and the control surface, that is what we want and what you are getting actually is, is a function of the lengths of the individual line segments. I'll show you the different interpolation methods. One is linear interpolation, that is the tool or workpiece moves in straight line. Then you have circular interpolation. So here circular interpolation is used to cut the circles. So that means two axes are moving here in an arc. In an arc. So linear interpolation follows the mathematical model y is equal to mx plus c, which is the equation of straight line. Circular interpolation follows the mathematical model, that is x square plus y square is equal to r square, or x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square is equal to r square if the center is not 0, 0. Similarly, helical interpolation. So in helical, you get a helix. So again, every interpolation you get, or every interpolation are based on the mathematical models. Then parabolic interpolation again follows the parabola or parabolic mathematical model. So if the question asks is what are the different interpolation, then you have to answer that. The next is tolerance between the desired curve and the machine curve. So this is useful when you are selecting the machine. This is useful when you are selecting the machine. That is, what is the tolerance or what is the distance between desired curve and the machine curve? Desired curve means actual what you want, that is what has been designed, and machine curve means what you are getting actually on the machine. So this is what one is your inside tolerance, another is your outside tolerance, and here it is both. So what do you mean by inside tolerance? See, even if you are doing circular interpolation like this, the bed or the tool doesn't move in a circle. It moves in a series of short straight lines, or we say sets. So these are the short segments which ultimately gives an appearance of arc. This is what is called as the aliasing. Remember that it cannot move in an arc, both the motors. So both the motors moves in such a way that it cuts a series of straight lines. Now, depending upon the machine accuracy, hmm, this tolerance is minimized. If the machine is good, then this tolerance will be as low as possible. When I say this tolerance is as low as possible, that means you are going to get a beautiful or a proper arc. If this tolerance is more, then obviously you will not get a perfect arc. Your straight line segment approximation. This is your straight line segment. This is your actual curve is, and this is what is your machined curve is. Machine. So if you zoom it under shadowgraph or under electron microscope, you will not get a arc, but you will get a series of straight lines. So the machine accuracy depends upon this tolerance. Again, I repeat, if this distance is less, that means the machine is good. Hmm. So of course, the cost will be again high. So this is how we define the inside tolerance. In case of outside tolerance, the actual curve, that the design curve, is lying below the machined curve. Alright. And if you define inside as well as outside, then actual curve or the machine curve uh, is below or above the design surface. Alright. Let's go for the next slide. Linear interpolation is most commonly used. Linear and circular interpolation. Whenever you want to cut taper uh, or you want to move at an angle, uh, then linear interpolation is used. As I have told you that it uses the formula y is equal to fx plus c. So the interpolator, this is called as this. How do you obtain these two motions? There is something called as the interpolator, or there is something called as the machine controller. Machine controller, technically interpolator. It calculates or it computes. This line is important. The feed rate for each of the two or three axes to achieve the specified feed rate. So the feed rates are combined in such a way that you get a proper linear interpolation, and that is done by the device which is called as the interpolator. Then same way, circular interpolation. So how to do circular interpolation? There are different ways. How to do linear interpolation? Obviously, you have to give the initial point and the final point, the coordinates of the initial point and the coordinates of the final point. What about circular interpolation? You have to give the coordinates of starting point, then also give, means in the program. What I am meaning that in the program you have to also give the center. Either you have to give the center or radius of the arc. That is, if you are giving the center, then the controller will automatically calculate the radius, or if you are giving the radius, the controller will automatically calculate the center. But you will also need to give the direction of the cutter. That is, whether the arc is clockwise or whether the arc is counterclockwise. So then only the controller will understand how to move the machine. So the requirement is you must give the coordinates of the starting point. There is nothing wrong even if you give the end points also, but the starting point has to be given. Give either center or radius, and you give the instruction whether it is clockwise, whether the tool or the machine has to move clockwise or the machine has to move anti-clockwise. And the smaller the straight lines, better is the contour. Smaller the straight line, the better is the control. All right. So you can cut it in different planes. Those planes are XY plane, XZ plane, or YZ plane. And this plane in which you are doing the machining is defined by codes. That codes are G17. That is, whenever you say G17, it will cut in XY. G18, the machining will happen in XZ. The machine understands that it has to do the cutting in XZ plane, and G19. So G17, G18, G19. This is what we always give in the starting block when you are doing programming. Helical interpolation. This is advanced interpolation, helical, parabolic. So again here it's a combination of circular, that is two axis with linear movement, again with the third axis. Generally, helical interpolation is used for cutting the threads like this. So helical means it will move like helix, like a spring, coil spring. You look at my arrow, how it is moving like this. So helical interpolation is nothing like you are cutting off a spring. Basically, it is used in thread like this. Imagine this is a thread, isn't it? So thread has a start and it moves continuously. Alright. So there is a movement in all the three axes. So you have to allow helical path in three-dimensional space. Again, helical interpolation can come as a standard feature or as a optional feature. Linear interpolation and circular interpolation, these are the standard features. Helical interpolation, as I said, is used for cutting the threads. Then you have parabolic and cubic interpolation. Again, this is on the advanced machining. So this uses your higher order operations. Hello? Yeah? Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, please tell me. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
voice is cracking, sir. You are not audible.
Just a minute. And the connectivity issues are there. Just hold on. Hello, hello. Is it all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So parabolic
Yes,
and
sir.
cubic interpolation, it has a large amount of computational power. Computational power means calculation. Computation means calculation. So there are a lot of algorithms, you know. So it's a complex calculations. So the controller has to be powerful and it should have a features to perform these interpolations. Generally, this space that interpolations are applied or applications of parabolic and cubic interpolations are in aerospace and in automobile industries where you have very aesthetic curves like bonnet, those curves. They're very beautiful or very aesthetic. At the same time, it has some properties also. That is, it should offer minimum resistance so that you can get maximum mileage, so that your vehicle can speed up. And same thing is for the aerospace. That surfaces need to be very accurate. So this is what is called the surface modeling, and surface modeling and toolpath generation and the code generation can be done offline with the help of dedicated softwares like Mastercam, Delcam, Gcam, Tebis, etc. Every software it has their own features. Like if you talk about Tebis, then generally the Tebis software or even sometimes Delcam also, these are the softwares which are used for programming of machining for automobile surfaces. So this was your CNC principles. We'll go for the next presentation. If you have any doubt, please ask. So let us discuss special features of CNC. Offline simulation softwares means you are not using your CNC machine for the programming, because CNC machine should be used for cutting. Your spindle should run money. If you are doing programming on the machine and if there is no cutting happening, that means there is a wastage of productivity. Normally, the per hour cost is calculated. So nowadays the cost has come down. So it ranges from as low as 240 rupees per hour. I'm talking about CNC machines, 240 rupees, that is 4 rupees per minute, to as high as 5,000 rupees per hour. This is in case of laser cutting machine or in case of water jet cutting machines. So we should exploit the CNC machine. Your spindle should run continuously. So there are simulation softwares available offline wherein you can do the programming, you can do the simulation. Simulation means you can check your program, you can see or you can visualize your tool movements, whether the tool is dashing to the workpiece or whether the tool is dashing to the jigs or fixtures or to the nuts and bolts. That can be checked offline and the corrections can be made, and then that program can be interfaced or can be passed to the machines so that your programming time and checking time is saved. So this is also useful for training also. We have Simulink simulation softwares in our IOM lab, Industrial Engineering and Operation Management lab, where we have almost 20 um, licensed copies of simulation software called as the Simu link, which is meant for CNC lathe and CNC milling. So here you can learn, you can simulate your CNC programs, and then that can be copied to the CNC lathe and CNC milling machine down. This programming station and CNC lathe or CNC machine can be interfaced through the cable. So that means whatever you make, whatever you program offline can be passed to the machine immediately. These are some special features, that is rigid tapping means you can do tapping on the machine with the help of the tapping attachment. So that is I'm talking about on the CNC machine automatically. Automatically. See, generally what happens when you are doing tapping manually, you get a feel. If something goes wrong, you can stop. If something goes wrong, you can stop. Because tapping, manual tapping is always busy. If you are doing tapping more than 20 mm, it needs lots of efforts. You used to give the punishment, or the assignment. If somebody doesn't, submit, you have to ask students to do the M36 typing. M36 typing. It needs a lot of, force. M36 typing. So you can build up your arm muscles in 2 days only if you do M36 typing. So, so this, in order to avoid this labor, we do this tapping on the machine. So there is a tapping attachment that comes as an optional accessories which need to be fixed up to the machine. So it should have a float as a safety feature, float. So that float is axial float. That is, if there is something goes wrong, it can move actually. It is something like your shock absorber, that is suspensions, what is available on the four-wheeler machines. So it can take the ups and downs, shock absorber. The same thing, this tapping can take little variations, ups and downs, and it protects your workpiece against the tapping attachment because the tapping attachments are expensive. Depending upon the size, the cost varies from 10,000 rupees to 1 lakhs. So there has to be um, safety feature in order to protect your workpiece, in order to protect your tapping attachment, as well as in order to protect your machine also, because the damage also should not happen. Now this radius compensation is very important, as we will do in detail radius compensation. This is generally asked for 5 marks. Explain the radius compensation. It is also called as the tool diameter compensation. Tool diameter compensation. Remember, whatever programming you do, that is, so for whatever programming we are talking, that is with respect to the center line of the tool or with respect to the center line of the spindle, center line of the spindle. But that means it assumes that the tool has zero diameter, a sharp tool, very sharp tool. Alright, but practically it is not possible to cut with the zero diameter tool. So the tool will always have a diameter 5 mm, 10 mm, 20 mm, isn't it? So that diameter has to be taken into consideration. But programming you are done with respect to the center line. Whenever you say G00 X50 Y100, that means the spindle center line is moving. But in to consider the tool diameter, that means if you are doing some external cutting, 50 and say y100, and if my tool diameter is say 20 mm, then you have to program instead of x50, you have to program x60. That is, the radius of the tool has to be considered, and y instead of 100, you have to give y110. Every time you need to remember this: what is my tool diameter, what is my tool diameter, and every time you need to write the program like this. Now suppose if you have written a program for diameter 20 cutter, and you have given the command say x60 and y110, but in the store suppose diameter 20 cutter is not available, instead of that diameter 16 cutter is available, then you have to again change the whole program. It's not possible. Again, now suppose instead of diameter 16, if you have a cutter diameter 15.4, that becomes very hectic. Diameter 15.4, why? Because the tool, that end mill has been ground and the size has become now 15.4. So that calculation becomes very hectic. You may make mistake also. And for the simple program, it is fine. But for the complicated program, it is difficult every now, and it is going to take a lot of time also. So that's why you have a feature which is called as the radius compensation, and it's a standard feature which is available on milling machine or machining center. That is what is called as the radius compensation, or it is also called as the tool diameter compensation. Similarly, you have one more feature that is called the tool length compensation, that also we'll discuss. So this tool diameter compensation and tool length compensations are important feature available on the machines. And either of this question is asked in the examination, either tool diameter compensation or tool length compensation. Right. So here in every machine you have something called as the tool library. Tool library. So in this tool library, you have to specify what diameter of the tool you are using, and you have to also specify what is the length of the tool that you are using. Then the machine takes the data from this tool library, or it is also called as the tool offset page, and it calculates the position of the tool accordingly. It reads the programming instructions, it remembers the tool diameter which is used from the tool library, that is, it takes the data from that, and accordingly it positions the tool, and that is what is called as the offsetting the tool, and that is what is called the tool offset. So tool offset is done in two directions, or it is done in two ways: either tool diameter or tool length. All right. So this is very important from examination point of view. Tool diameter compensation, you may note it down, and tool length compensation. Then what we are discussing is CNC features. All right. The question can be asked: what are the CNC features in modern CNC machine tools in order to improve or in order to increase the productivity? So that time you have to explain this. These are the features that it has: tool radius compensation, it has tool length compensation, it has automatic pallet changes, it has tool life management, it has diagnostic feature, that is maintenance point of view, and so on. So in tool life management also, uh, you are giving some cutting parameters, and you will come to know what is the tool life. What is the tool life for a particular tool? So you can take the decision. Like suppose you have used now a Sandvik insert. So what is the life for the Sandvik insert? Whether shall I go for Vidya or whether shall I go for ISCAR? So all these records can be maintained, or it is available in tool life management systems. So generally the tool magazines in automatic tool changer machines are say, around 20 tools to 80 tools. But there are CNC machines, they are having up to 256 tools in the tool magazine. That means the tool life management can be done for 256 tools. So this is what the capabilities Nowadays the machines are available with more than 1,000 tools management, tool life management. So this is what the tool life monitoring system is. Basically, tool life monitoring system means you are interfacing your tool, this tool, to the computer. All right. So there are transducers here, which which records the forces, is, and it gives an indication what will be the chatter, what will be the vibration, and what will be the surface finish. It also calculates the wear. So basically, what is the input parameter? Input parameter is nothing but the force which is coming on the spindle. Because we know what is the logic, that as the tool becomes blunt and blunt, uh, the cutting forces will increase. Cutting forces will increase. So basically, it has to read the cutting forces with the help of the transducer, right? This is what the principle of tool life monitoring system, and it will give the message accordingly. Then there is another feature. So these are all the features which are available to improve the productivity. Adaptive control. Like suppose adaptive control means what? It adapts to the environment. It adapts to the environment. That is what is called the adaptive. Like suppose if you go to Jammu Kashmir for say 3 or 4 months, or maybe on deputation for 1 year, then you have to adapt to that environment. What they eat, what they wear, that is what you have to wear, isn't it? And I mean, you have to have sweaters, then non-veg food in order to have a strength or the heat inside. So same thing in CNC machines also. There is a feature. This is an optional feature called the adaptive control. Like it will automatically increase or decrease the feed rates. Again, it is based on the force measurement. Like suppose if the material is hard, isn't it? The material is hard, then it will change the force, and it will automatically reduce the feed rate. Feed. It will automatically reduce the speed also of the machine. If there is no cutting, like suppose if there is a gap, if there is a gap, if there is a hollow portion on the workpiece, so it senses that, Hare, there is a hollow portion. How do you sense? That there is no load, there is no force. So adaptive control, what it does, it will increase the feed rate so that the machine will move fast. If you don't have adaptive control, then it will move with the same feed rate, whatever the programmer has given. So it will increase the machining time. In case if you have adaptive control, it will change the forces. So it will increase or decrease. So it will avoid cutting of the tools. Tools will not breakage of the tools. At the same time, it will improve the machining time also. Then another standard feature which is available is absolute and incremental mode. This is very simple. When you say absolute mode, this is very important. Absolute mode is given by G90 code. So whenever you say absolute mode, it refers to one fixed position. Like say you have XY coordinate system, so it refers to a fixed origin. We say 0, comma 0. Alright. So all the dimensions are given with respect to that 0, comma 0. Normal our coordinate system, whatever we have learned uh, in 10th standard. And incremental means it will give the position with respect to the previous position. Incremental. So that's why it is called the incremental. Absolute code is specified by G90, and incremental code is specified by G91. Often the question asked is, you know, differentiate between absolute and incremental code. So if I'm giving you example, if it is for the 2 marks, then you have to define what is absolute and incremental. Just now I told that absolute means with respect to some fixed position, incremental means with respect to the previous position. Then second point of difference you can give, absolute is given by G90, incremental is given by G91. G91 is the code for incremental. Then you can draw the diagram, small diagram, third point if you wish. If it is for the 4 marks, you can draw the small diagram. In that you can show what is absolute and what is incremental. Then fourth point, in case of 4 marks, you can give the advantage, that absolute, what is the advantage of absolute, what is the advantage of incremental. That is, it depends upon the designer. It depends upon the drawing, what kind of drawing you receive. In drawing, if all the dimensions are shown with respect to some fixed origin, then obviously you go for G90. If the dimensions are given with respect to the previous, then you don't have to calculate, you simply use incremental code. So these are the advantages. Then fifth point, absolute code is generally safe, whereas incremental, there are chances of error. There are chances of error in programming, in giving the dimensions. So generally, you have to follow the absolute system, which is safe because you have to do the programming safe way. So this was some special features what we discussed. So we have discussed the CNC principles. We have discussed the special features of the CNC machines. Right? Any doubts so far? You please ask. If you have any doubts, please ask without any hesitation. Indrajit, are you there? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Sachin, Sachin,
Yes, sir.
Sachin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
हाँ क्या डाउट है कि नहीं?
नाही नाही सर
No doubt.
झालंय ना
Okay, I
डिप्लोमा
think
मध्ये
you,
झालंय सर
yeah,
माहिती आहे.
you are aware of this. So let's go for CNC hardware. CNC hardware. Again, I'll share this. Again, there will be one question, short note, either in question number 1 or question number six, which is short note on this CNC hardware. So the weightage of this is 5 marks.
Sir,
CNC hardware. Yes.
sir, it's I think it's already 9:52.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
start
We'll
करो
stop at.
में ही
I will
रुकना
stop at
पड़ेगा.
9:50. Hello. We'll stop at 9:55. That is what we have been
हाँ,
given instructions 5 minutes before. So it is 9:52. All right. So hold on for another 3 minutes. So here CNC hardware, this is basically important for designers or design engineers. Alright, that is those who are designing the CNC machines. And it is again very interesting, how the CNC machines behaves. What are the characteristics of the CNC machines? We are talking about accuracy of 1 micron. We are talking about accuracy of 5 micron. Now we are talking about accuracy of half micron. Hmm? And we are talking about pico machining. Hmm? Forget about
सर
nano
तुमच्या
machining.
ऑडिओमध्ये खूप डिस्टर्बन्स आहे.
We are talking about pico machining, that is 10 raised to minus 12. So your machine has to be designed accordingly. Your machine has to be designed accordingly. So for that you have to take care of these parameters. That is how the structure of machine tool should be, how the spindle design should be, how the spindle drive should be. What about feed drive? Feed drive means your x-axis drive, your y-axis drive, your z-axis drive. Actuation system. Actuation system means what? Can anybody tell me? Actuation system means it is nothing but your motors. Whether you are using DC motors, whether you are using AC motors, whether you are using cylinders, hydraulic cylinders, and then feedback devices. Feedback devices means your CNC machines are always closed loop control. So how the feedback is given, whether you are using encoders, whether you are using tacho generators, yeah, or whether you are using linear scales. So this was something very interesting if you are going into CNC machines manufacturing and not into programming. That is, you have to join the companies who manufacture the CNC machine tools, like say Lakshmi Machine Works. We have LMW CNC Lathe or Micromatic or ACE or Gottlieb or HMT. Means you are joining machine tool manufacturer, then definitely this is very interesting. So what should be the design criteria that you should have? The machine should be stiff. Machine should be stiff, and you should have a stiffness to weight ratio. That means it should be able to take the vibrations. It should be able to take the vibrations, and that's why we use generally cast iron, which you are aware. In second year you might have learned. The machine blades are usually cast because the cast iron has good stiffness and it has also low weight. You will not see any CNC machine fabricated. Fabricated matlab welded. No CNC machines they have bed structures which are welded, because if you are doing welding, that means there is a lot of stresses developed, lot of stresses developed. Again, it will not have absorbing kind of you know, characteristics. So always it will be cast iron, right? And it has good stiffness and it has good damping characteristics. So these are some design criteria for CNC machine tool design.
Sir, your voice is cracking.
Hello, these are some design criteria that is CNC machine tools. Alright, so machine response should be very fast. Then component characteristics, that is individual components from which your machine is made. Then you have to also consider the operation and cost consideration. That cost should be minimum and operation should be easy. Operator should be able to operate the machine. The machine should be reliable. Then you have to also consider the signals, command signal, then natural frequency. This is what you learn in control engineering. Then power requirement should be less so that your running cost is less. It should be easily maintainable. Alright. Then you should have maximum feed rate and maximum speed rates available. So this is what you have to remember when you are doing design. Right? So this is the important slide. Alright. Stop here. If you have any doubt, please ask without any hesitation and start submitting the assignment 1. That is matrix multiplication. You have to program in such a way that it should be able to do matrix multiplication up to 3 by 3. That is 2 by 3, 3 by 3, like that. Not the order should be 3, not more than that. I have already shared with Neeraj Jain, CR.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So you may leave the class now if you don't have any questions to ask.
सर हा जो प्रोग्राम लिहायचा मल्टिप्लिकेशनचा तो हँड रिटन चालेल की ह्याच्यावर टाईप करून सबमिट केला तरी चालेल?
Kasai. It can be handwritten or it can be typed also. But you have to remember that you have to write your name and your roll number on top right hand side and submit it in Google Classroom. Otherwise, it will not be graded. You write your name and roll number at the top right hand side. Minimum these two things.
Okay, sir.
In the center, you can mention assignment 1, matrix multiplication using C. Alright?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
sir.
Yeah. Any doubt, you can post it also. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
On the Google Classroom or on my WhatsApp number also, which is available. So thank you all of you.